In this episode of the meal prep series, we're making green goddess dressing. It's going with roasted broccolini and soft sweet potatoes, and it's all served with perfectly cooked juicy chicken, and that is all we need to do to create this amazing spiced chicken bowl meal prep. Let's get straight into it. Starting out, we'll do the thing that takes the longest first. That is 3 sweet potatoes that need to be peeled. You can use medium to large side, or you can use regular potatoes if you need to. Once they are peeled, slice them in half to make them a bit easier to work with, then slice into 3 or 4 even sized strips. With the strips, cut them into 3s or 4s batten size, then rotate 90 degrees and then just dice into even sized pieces. Slide these off the chopping board into a baking tray. This one right here is non-stick, so I don't need to worry about parchment paper. Then we're going to drizzle this up with 2 teaspoons of olive oil. You can use extra virgin olive oil if you wanted to, and then just season to taste with sea salt flakes and cracked black pepper. Get your clean hands in there and just give these a quick mix around, making sure everything is evenly coated. Then we can transfer it over to a preheated oven that's at 210 degrees Celsius or 410 degrees Fahrenheit and just roast for 15 minutes. In the meantime, we'll do our chicken. This right here is 4 medium to large sized chicken breasts. We're going to butterfly them, so just place your hand flat on top, slide a sharp knife through the center and just gently cut it through. Then we can follow that cut all the way along to open it out like a butterfly and then just slice in half to create 2 even sized fillets. It's then optional, but you can use a meat mallet to bang out the thickest part of the chicken to make it nice and flat, and you can use the bottom of a pan if you don't have one. Let's then add these into a mixing bowl, follow that up with 2 teaspoons of olive oil, 1 teaspoon of both onion and garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of both dried oregano and thyme, then half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper and 1.5 teaspoons of sweet paprika. Then generously season with salt and pepper and just mix this around, making sure everything is evenly coated just until you have something that looks like this. Then we can pop this aside for the time being. For this recipe, I'm using 3 avocados. Obviously, if you don't like avocado, you don't have to use it. And just gently place that knife around the seed and follow it along to open it up. Use a dull knife just to remove that seed and then scoop out the flesh with a spoon. It's the easiest and the cleanest way. Now what I'm doing is just thinly slicing this the whole way along, just putting a little bit of pressure so it doesn't fall apart. And then just use the palm of your hand to spread it out like a fan. The next part of this recipe is green goddess dressing. Add 220 grams of natural Greek yogurt to a blender bowl, along with 15 grams of dill, 15 grams of coriander or cilantro, 15 grams of flat leaf parsley, and 15 grams of basil, 15 grams of capers that have been rinsed, 1 garlic clove. Then we're going to add in the zest from half a lemon. Just make sure you bang it all in there to get it all in for that infusion. Juice 1/4 of that lemon for a nice little bit of extra flavor. Season to taste with salt and pepper, and then hit it up with 1 tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. Put this over a high speed and blend this down until everything is combined. It's beautifully green, and if it's a little bit too thick, you can thin it down with some water if need be, which I did in this one. Then we can transfer it into a clean jar or any container you have, or even meal prep containers if you wanted to. And what we've just created is this beautiful herbaceous dressing that's perfect for so many different things. Chuck on a lid. Pop this in the fridge for up to 4 days, and I don't recommend freezing this stuff, but this right here is the macros for the green goddess dressing, and I recommend about 1.5 tablespoons per serving. Moving on, this right here is 3 bunches of broccolini. Just slice this in half, and if you don't want to use broccolini, you can use regular broccoli. Add it onto a prepared baking tray, just like we did with the sweet potato. Hit it up with about 2 teaspoons of olive oil, season to taste with salt and pepper, and then just spread this out just so it's not sitting all on top of one another. Once that's done, we can then make our way over to the oven where the sweet potato has been in there for about 15 minutes. And all we have to do with this is just give it a quick mix around, just so we can get that even cooking all over. At this stage, it will be pretty soft though, so just be a little bit gentle. Once that is mixed, add the broccolini on top, and we can then cook this for another 15 minutes. Now for the chicken, place a pan over medium-high heat, add in 1 tablespoon of olive oil, get that nice and hot. Then we can add in the chicken, doing this in batches. I just had 3 in there at a time. And what we're going to do is sear this for about 3 to 3.5 minutes on each side, just until it's beautifully golden. Then we can flip this over and obviously repeat that again. I know I just said that before and that didn't really make sense, but 3.5 minutes on each side. Now after about 6.5 to 7 minutes, the chicken's beautifully cooked. This can then be removed. I did end up flipping them over a couple of times just to get a bit more color on them, but you don't have to do that. Allow them to rest for 5 minutes before slicing into strips, or you can dice them, it's up to you. But what we're then left with is this extremely juicy and perfectly cooked chicken. When everything's done, the sweet potato's been roasting away for 30 minutes and the broccolini's been in there for 15 minutes. This can all be transferred over to these 1.3 litre containers. Add in the chicken, making sure you're dividing everything by 5 or weigh it out, it's up to you. And for presentational purposes, I'm adding on the avocado, but I recommend serving this on the side as it doesn't store very well, as well as the green goddess dressing on one of these. I'll be honest with myself, this does look so much better when you serve it in a bowl as a regular meal, but it's still absolutely delicious, and it's really good for you too. As for macros, this right here is everything you need, and this also includes the dressing too.
Now with these, let them cool down for about 15 to 20 minutes, put them in the fridge for up to 4 days and in the freezer for up to 2 months. Don't put the avocado in them, I don't recommend storing that, as well as that green goddess dressing, it just will ruin it. Obviously I did this for presentational purposes on this one, but the choice is up to you how you want to do it, and obviously you can swap and change all of the ingredients. The only thing that is left to do is, of course, we can then dig in. The flavour combination in that is actually really tasty. It's super fresh, it's light, it's not too heavy as well, because I feel like in the past we've done quite a few heavy recipes and I just wanted to change it up, make something beautiful and fresh for you guys. The green goddess dressing goes absolutely perfect with that sweet potato. Avocado's optional, chicken's super juicy, and it's the perfect blend of flavours. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, consider subscribing along with hitting the bell notification next to it so you never miss when I upload, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.